a brand new production.
And just like that, we back with another episode of Brand You the Podcast. I am your host, Main Man J Man. And again, man, before I go any further, man, I just want to thank, everybody who has been supporting the Brand You movement thus far. We got a lot of episodes coming and, some good guests. I'm definitely excited about this episode here, man. I got a young brother with me, man. That's the ultimate testimony, man. That's you can't do nothing but soak up the game, you know what I mean? And that's what we here to do, man. We're gonna jump right into it. I got my young brother here, Antwan Richardson, business owner, a true definition, home services, So we're gonna get right into things, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Glad to be here, man. Glad you invited me, man. It's a great opportunity, man. I like what you're doing here, man. And it's just beginning.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I'm glad to see the vision, bro. Like I said, bro, we here just to reach the masses, man. Like I said in the last show, and we're gonna keep saying, man, everybody who has a brand, we want you to come here, Brand You, man. We're gonna put you where you need to be. We're gonna put you in front of people who needs to see you, who might not have already seen you. And just let the people know that it is people out here that got positive things going on out here. So we're gonna jump right into things, man. Basically, just give us a brief synopsis of what your company does. What type of company it is.
Man, great question. So, True Definition Home Inspections is an inspection company that provides inspection services to anybody that's going through a real estate process when it comes to purchasing a home. Right, one of the American dreams that
right.
Everybody should have is home ownership. So what we do is before you purchase that home, we go in and provide you with a full home inspection or a mold inspection or other types of inspections that you need or information that you want to know before you purchase. So it's like buying a used car, but without getting a Carfax on it, right? So it's like the same concept when you buy a house. Before you purchase a house, we're talking about probably one of the biggest investments you're gonna make in a lifetime.
Right.
100,000 plus.
Right.
So why wouldn't you get an inspection before you purchase it to know what type of property and the condition that it's in before you sign on the dotted line? Hey. And that's what we do.
Right, and that makes sense. Like you said, you investing all this money into this property, your life, your family, and you want to make sure you got a good, good foundation to stand on, man. So that's definitely something that's key, to what we need here in the society. But when did you, how did you get started into this type of field? Like, what did it come from? Like,
so, ironically, it came from my kid's grandfather. After I graduated high school, I went out to college and came back. And it was like, really kind of like a thing of like, okay, what's next, So getting ready to look at relocating and moving down to South Florida with my kid's mother and my two, with my kids. It was like really a start over because she actually was from Fort Lauderdale. So her father was already well established in the business. So I literally was going down there really to look for a regular 9 to 5 just because I had worked in different places. So I'm like, either way, I got to get it. Kids, you know what I mean? It ain't no options. I got to get it. So once I got down there, he was like, man, well, check this out, come out with me a couple of times and let me know what you think. So I came out with him a couple of times and, a couple of times led to a couple more times. And, within the first month, man, I really, seen this company make what most people make in a year. I seen in 1 month.
Right, that's real.
So I'm like, whatever licenses that you got, I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them. So that's really what kind of got me into the industry. So, once I came out of once I came out of training and school, he made me the supervisor of that company, and I was able to train 5 to 6 guys for him, for about 3 to 4 years. And then I came back up to Jacksonville after meeting the fork in the road, and I started True Definition Inspection Services with no money.
And that was that's lead right into my next question. Like, what, how did you when did you realize you need to establish your own business with things, man? Like,
really, it came from me working for that company for about 3 or 4 years, like looking at it like, I'm probably, bringing them probably, a couple of grand, within a week's time span. You know what I mean? So numbers don't lie, they add up.
Right.
So it was like, over that time, I was like, okay, well, listen, I know this is what I want to do to be able to establish a solid foundation for me, my kids, my family and future generations. So once I realized that and I came back to Jacksonville, it wasn't a matter of if, it was just a matter of when.
Right.
And, I came back and was just looking at it from a sense of like, man, I don't have no startup money. I got to look at investors. Let me sit down and talk with this person. Let me talk with that person. But one of the biggest lessons that it taught me during that time was, it was like God was telling me, look at what you do have and not what you don't. And from there, here I am.
Right. That's what you gotta. A lot of people always look at what they don't have. You know what I mean? And I could say, I had times when I was looking at things like that, but you gotta come up out of that at some point in time in life. You know what I mean? Just to progress. Cause like you said, it's not about what you don't got. It's about what you already got. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, what would you say was your biggest hurdle? You know what I mean? Or jump getting the business up and running?
Getting work. The biggest thing was getting work, because when I came back to Jacksonville and I started this company, I didn't know not one realtor. I didn't have no family members in the business. I didn't have, no type of connection, so to say. You know what I mean? Because when you start something, you looking for an end.
Right.
Where's my end? What can I tap into immediately just to get my feet wet, like in anything else?
Right.
You know what I mean? So once I came back up here, it was really the matter of connecting with realtors on Facebook. I was reaching out to probably about 20 realtors a day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I was looking for a response back, but I knew I wouldn't get it back. You know what I'm saying? Immediately, in a sense. So it kind of, it was teaching me patience as I was looking to really get established in the business.
So this was you reaching out to these realtors, right? This you independently, or are you trying to work for these realtors, or are you contracted through these realtors for the homes that they sell?
Well, it's independently, because basically how the process works, for an inspection company, a realtor can't necessarily say by law, hey, you have to go with this company as a buyer. They have to give their buyer at least 3 to 4 options. So I was reaching out just to get on that 3 to 4 option list.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I already knew that they had that type of process, so it was really just a matter of trusting that process for myself. You know what I mean? Seed time and harvest, like anything else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Plant the seed, water the seed, give it time to grow.
Exactly.
And it's growing right now.
Right.
And I'm still planting.
Right. Right, because it's more work to get done, man. You know what I mean? I'm definitely proud of you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's a major step. Because like you said, these are realtors. They already got people they probably already working with. That got to be, you had to swallow your pride as, you know what I'm saying? Pride, and feel like a small fry in the game, you know what I mean? So that's like, as a man, that's the one thing I already take care of, is to swallow that pride and just be like, man, I got to humble myself and reach out to these people and not be on my high horse and think I'm too good to do this, because it can keep you from, certain avenues. You know what I mean? So absolutely, man. It's funny you say pride, man. One of the biggest things, man. Someone told me, man, a while ago, man, and it was actually what pride actually stood for, and it actually stands. It has a lot of meanings, but for me, what stood out was, it was, please remember I destroyed everything. Like, and when I heard that, hold on, say that again. Say that again for the. I don't think that it might have went a couple of you ahead. Say that again.
Pride, stood for please remember I destroyed everything. So how much is it? How important is it to you for you to not destroy everything that you're trying to work to build? You know what I mean?
Right.
No matter what, like, you basically are your own destroyer. So why would you be trying to destroy something that you're trying to build up?
Yeah, that don't. It really don't make sense. When you put it like that, it really don't make sense. No. But in the everyday life, we don't slow it down enough to look at it like that. Like I said, I raised my hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Wow, I mean that's game coming from someone younger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's crazy that you know that. So it's a lot of people who don't know that. That's much older than us. You know what I mean? So like I said, man, that's just you grasping that from your struggles and your drive to try to get where you're trying to go, and look at all the stuff that you learned, along the way.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the business, you know what I mean?
Nothing to do with the business.
That's just on a man tip, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So at this point, you know what I mean, like, for people who don't know, as far as the home buying process, like, where does a company like yours fit in that process? Like, when does that come into play?
Okay, great question. So, as an inspection company, we come into play during the home buying process. After you get with a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
They look at your credit. You get pre-approved.
Mm-hmm.
For X amount based on your income and your debt to income ratio.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you are pre-approved for a certain amount, then now it's just a matter of going out finding and looking for houses within that price range.
Right.
Once you find a house, then your realtor, they'll submit an offer on that property. Mm-hmm. And once you get an accepted offer, now it's inspection time. Okay. Now is where we come into play at during that process. So after the contract is accepted, now your realtor is gonna say, well, hey, here's these 3 companies that I can refer you, and you get quotes from them, and you can also do your own research. Mm-hmm. And then the buyer chooses from there which company that they decide to go with. And for me, I have the mindset of, if I talk to you, you're not gonna get nobody else.
Right.
If I talk to you,
just let me see him.
Just let me see him. You know what I mean? Just let me get that phone call. Because a lot goes into true definition. A lot goes into that name.
Right.
And I don't know if that's a question that you have, so I'm not gonna tap into that right now.
But I mean, speak on that. I mean, what's the meaning behind that?
Man, true definition inspections. The true definition, really came from it relating to not just inspections, but anything that you're involved with as a woman, as a man, mm-hmm. being a true definition of that.
Right.
So, if you're doing mortgages, be the true definition of dealing with mortgages.
Right.
You know what I mean? To where you educated, you able to help and provide great service at what you do, mm-hmm. and your work ethic can't be topped. Right. So for me, it was like, okay, well, I'm the true definition of an inspector. I'm the true definition of, we're the true definition of customer service, mm-hmm. thoroughness. Mm-hmm. And by the time that we get done doing what we do, when you hire us, right, you can also attest to that.
Hey, and that's all you can ask for, you know what I mean? Especially when you're dealing with somebody at home and you bring up the word customer service. It's a lot of companies out there, man, not even, dealing with, homes or whatever. Right. But just companies with that customer service, man, and the etiquette, man, it's just unheard of in some avenues, man. Like, so your customer service, you think that puts you, above the top ones, or what would you say sets you apart, from other companies?
Great question, man. Great question. So I feel like what sets true definition apart from other inspection companies is, how we do what we do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because there's a million different car dealerships, but why are you gonna go to one? Mm-hmm. Right? So it's what we do, the service that we provide, and the thoroughness and the experience factor of being in this industry. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get all that in one. So any questions that you have, we tell the buyers to bring those to the top, bring that to the property inspection, bring it to the table. Right. And any question that you don't ask, we gonna answer them anyway because we know what we're doing.
Right. Right.
So that's really the key, man. In business, it's not the thing of being in business, it's staying in business. Mm-hmm. And customer service is gonna keep you in business. Exactly. If you're able to provide that consistently.
Right. Right. So what all do you do? What all do you inspect for during these inspections?
Okay. So what we inspect for during the inspections is we check everything from top to bottom. All right. So from top being the roof, the shingles. Whether it's 1 story, 2 story, 3 story, we own that. Literally, I have on roof. Literally walking the roof. Literally. I mean, we have, photos of us actually on 2-story and 3-story roofs. You know what I mean? So we inspect the roof, we inspect the foundation, the exterior, the electrical. I mean, we open up electrical panels and check the wiring. We don't just check for hot water and that's it for the plumbing. We check the age of the water heater, what type of water lines that you have. We check your AC system. We check not just the filter, but we check the duct work. We check to make sure that the air is blowing out properly. We check the windows, your doors, your appliances. Anything in that property from interior to exterior, we check it. We inspect it. If you got an in-ground pool, we inspect it.
The pool.
The pool. If it's part of the house and it's in-ground, we checking all the jets on the pool. We checking the pool liner. We checking the pool pump. We even checking the pool light. If it comes with the property, we inspecting it.
That's thorough. That's thorough, and that's what I want for my home when I'm purchasing a home.
Exactly, and that's what position that we put ourselves in by being in this industry. And that's what you should do when you're in business, is not just look at it or put yourself in the business owner's shoes, because you was once an employee.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And if you keep that mindset as if you gonna place yourself in other people's shoes, you not gonna do unto them what you wouldn't want done to you.
Exactly. Because this a up and close, personal type of job, and type of business. You know what I mean? Like, you dealing with people firsthand. Like, hey man, I'm giving you my home to inspect. I need you to really let me know, should I spend this $150,000 or this $200,000 or this $1 million on this home?
Exactly. That's a huge thing, man. That's like saying, in reality, people want to look at, they got to see it in order to believe it, right? So that's like you putting $150,000 in somebody's hand and you asking them one question, and based on that question, that decide if you get your money back, or you actually gonna move forward and actually do something with that money. That's a huge task, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's some huge.
That's a huge responsibility, man.
It is.
That's a huge responsibility, bro. Like, I don't think it's a lot of people out there that can hold on to that type of responsibility, man.
Yeah. And
not drop the ball at the least. You know what I mean? Has it been times when you had to tell somebody like, no, don't purchase this house?
Well, I mean, we might not say it in those words. Terms, right? In those words, we're gonna be professional as possible, but we're gonna make sure that they're informed as much as possible.
On why?
On why you getting what you're getting if you decide to take that step and move forward. So if the house is $150,000 or $200,000, if the roof is leaking, or if it's a small leak over here or some mold over here, we not just gonna do the inspection so that way we can collect a check and get in the truck and leave, and then whatever decision you make is on you. Right. We're a part of that home buying experience.
Right.
And taking on that liability, that one thing that you could say, oh, that'll be all right, I ain't gonna mention that. Right. That one thing could be the downfall.
And that could be something that, a lot of people who, when they're talking to their loan servicers, when they get that home after this process is finished, now this is something that now they mad about that's happening.
Exactly.
That was small that the inspector could have not, brought to the table.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's real, man. Because people in these houses for their whole life.
For their life. I
30-year
mortgages. You know what I mean? And I just seen, a post on social media of a young lady that said, "Well, this is my second house, and I got all these problems." And I didn't get a chance to comment on the post, not from a standpoint of like, prying into her business, but just put out there, did you get an inspection? Because some people are under the perception as, oh, if it looks good, it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. But that's like saying you gonna buy a car or you gonna buy something without actually looking at it. That's like you see the shirt on the hanger in the store, but you don't see what's behind it or try it on. It got 5 holes in the back and it's too small, but it look good. It's the same type of thing. Same concept. So, why put yourself, and more importantly, why put your family in that type of situation? Because once you sign on the dotted line, literally, it's it.
That's it. So, do you have to get a inspection as far as to get the home approved?
Well, in some cases, inspections are not needed, but in a lot of cases they are. Not just because of what I do, But I would highly recommend anybody that's purchasing something of that magnitude of, I don't care if it's 30,000 and you're an investor, or it's 180,000 and you're a first-time home buyer. Mm-hmm. That's still a lot of money. That's not $30 and $180.
Right.
Put some zeros on it.
Right.
Like literally. So it's not just for the benefit of, you know, me and the company making money. It's a sense of what you're getting ready to get yourself into with this investment.
You need
so
to know
you need to know everything about it, so that way you can make a sound decision. You know what I mean? You know, we play ball.
Right.
That's like signing a letter of intent and not reading what it entails.
Right.
And you think you got a full scholarship, and then when you
got
get there, you gotta you gotta have a partial scholarship, and now you gotta figure out how you gonna pay the rest of the money to stay at the school.
Exactly.
It's the same type of thing, just a different game.
Right, man. That's crazy, man. And a lot of people don't know these things.
No.
In our culture, I say this is for the culture. You know what I mean? Like, this is stuff that people don't speak about in schools. You don't learn this in school. You don't get this information in school. And when you get grown and you have kids, you need to be knowing to make these steps, because you're raising these kids in these homes. So, I mean, my brother, I'm glad that, you know, somebody who's a peer of mine is involved in something like this, man. As positive as it is, you know what I mean? Like, this is something that we need in our culture, man. So, you know, I definitely commend you, bro.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. You know, oftentimes when you're so much wrapped up in the grind, you don't take the time to realize and look at all the accomplishments that you are accomplishing, you know, as you are making your progress in life. But the thing about it is the lack of frustration, or the more frustration is coming from a lack of knowledge. You know, I didn't always know this. You know what I mean? I had you know, people that, you know, I was around that called a thermostat a T-stat. You know what I mean? Right. So, you know, I didn't have no type of knowledge in this. But the thing about it is, when you decide or you figure out what you want to do, go after it like it's no tomorrow.
No matter what it is.
Because literally, tomorrow not promised to us.
Literally.
And that's really what drives me, man. I mean, that literally is what drives me every day, literally, because being or starting a company is a monster. It's a monster, but another testament to going back to true definition. I want to be that true definition of an example to say you can do it.
Exactly.
No matter what you come from, no matter what obstacles you face, everybody face obstacles.
Facts.
It's just a matter of if you're going to push to get through it. It ain't going to get easier.
So don't make no excuses. And that's facts, man. No. So are you, where you based out of, bro?
We based out of Jacksonville. But yes, sir.
But are you secluded to Jacksonville?
No, we service the entire state of Florida.
You hear that? The entire state of Florida. True definition.
Yes, sir.
Home inspection. The entire state of Florida. So if you in Miami, you in Fort Lauderdale, you in Orlando watching this, you can get at my man's here, man, and get your home, you know, inspected, so you can go ahead and make that purchase, man, or not make that purchase if you don't need to. You know what I mean? So,
exactly.
So with that being said, man, you know, we're gonna conclude things here, bro. You know, I definitely do appreciate you stepping by, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you came and blessed the set. You know what I mean? Again, this has been another episode of Brand You the Podcast. Now, before you leave, you know, if you know, to my viewers that's already been here, like I said, shout out, salute, you know what I'm saying? We got more shows coming. And if you're new to the podcast, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and go ahead and subscribe for your boy, because that's where you can get your notification of what we got going here at Brand You. On the next episode, which will be next week, next Saturday, I'll be releasing the details behind the viewers contest that I got going on. So make sure you check that out. It'll be a viewer giveaway. So again, tune in. And again, thanks for showing up for Brand You the Podcast. Yeah.